In accordance with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, this channel is not to be viewed by children under the age of 13. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey everybody, Dragon King Mark here, and welcome back to Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong. Last we left off, we just, well, mostly we ended up just checking our messages on the mission board, and also talked to Crafty, as well as meeting Algernon. Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. Like, I didn't even know Algernon was going to be in here, but we spoke with him, we spoke to Crafty, and we learned a little bit more about the walled city. On top of what Isabel told us, we also learned a bit more about something called the Yama Kings. These demons that basically are basically the mythology of the place. And something about deals. But let's go ahead and check out everyone first before we go ahead and do our missions. Matthew. Reliable Matthew stands quietly, cheap suit wet with a ring, tapping his foot absently to the smooth jazz pervading the lot. A halo of cigarillo smoke surrounds him. Hey, beautiful, good to see you. Let's set you up, shall we? Let's talk more about your medicine. Matthew playfully blows the smoke of his cigarillo. My medicine? I can't think of a thing to talk about, except how nice it is to see you. Nothing but blue skies over here, beautiful. Can you and Chip? I'd like to talk to you. He sighs heavily through his plastic grin. Alright, beautiful, alright. Clutching his cigarillo tensely between his fingers, he reaches up into his hair. With a faint click, he removes the chip. His expression goes slack and his shoulders slump. Matthew struggles to maintain eye contact as a slow tide of melancholy washes over his face. Hi, Singjan. He says it timidly. He looks around disconsolately at the drone's scattered wreck. Here we are. Why are you doing this to yourself? Matthew mumbles a reply. You would too. He lifts his head and looks you in the eye, tentatively, but with a stern conviction. I know what people think. Some people like Ambrose don't look down on me, but everyone else, I just want them to leave me alone. I want to be left alone, okay? I don't blame you, brother. The world is screwed. I think that you might be the sanest one among us. Thanks, Singjan. He gives you a shy nod. There's a deep recognition in his eyes. I know what I'm doing. I'm going back now. Matthew reaches up into his hair. There's a faint click as he sends a BTL back into his data jack. His back ripples as he pulls himself upright, and his face transforms with a sudden surge of feeling. Singjan, that was real. I mean, real beautiful. You got some chops on you. Woo! He adjusts his tie with exaggerated gusto. You know, something I think about. May I tell you? It's gonna blow your socks. Sure, Matthew, go on ahead. You're a peach, beautiful. So, let's get real, really real. Matthew takes a big, virile breath. Looks around in satisfaction, hands on his hips. I'm not Matthew Shun, and I'm not Cool Blue Jazz. I'm both. Also, that's his name, Matthew Shun. He cocks an eye at you. I think a lot about where I'm from. Some coked up dude on a sim rig recording his feelings, mass-produced in a factory, shipped out like a commodity. And this other poor guy, on a slowly sinking gasoline-reeking drone lot, called a merchant of poverty by his neighbors, alone with his drones, the moldy smell of his trailer. Makes me angry, Sangshan. Angry about this whole heartless shit heap that calls itself meta-humanity. It also makes me proud. Where are you going with this? Reliable Matthew taps himself forcibly on the chest. I'm proud because I'm more than the sum of my parts. Whatever aimless tweaker my feelings come from, they merge with a guy who never had a chance, and they alleviate his pain. I live a life of honor. He looks around at the looming walled city, the polluted river, the dilapidated drone yard. I'm like a knight errant, a yojai. I'm like the swordsman of Jai Dao. I fight for humanity. Thanks for reaching out to Matthew. Don't you worry, I'm watching out for him. Reliable Matthew nods in slow satisfaction, a wizened look on his face. As long as there's chips, I won't get tired. I'll never leave. He claps his hands together and breaks into a gigantic grin. Let's get back to it, beautiful. Jai Dao's swordsman? You're not like a Tang Dynasty warrior, Matthew. Although, thanks for laying it out. I think we understand each other. Me too, Sang-Jean, me too. It's a real pleasure being real. He breaks out a fresh cigarillo and rips off the auto-igniter with gusto. It bursts to life in a puff of rank blue smoke. He regards you with a sly, exaggerated smile. Now, my honorable brother in arms, how can I brighten your day? Look at the drones. So yeah, basically Matthew is a used car salesman, but the other personality and Matthew are sort of linked. I'm guessing that over time he might become his own person. I mean, Matthew's kind of happy. We've seen what he is, but really I just think he needs a friend. We can be that friend for him. Freddy Ka Fai is showing off some fresh ink to everyone who passes inside Club 88. On each forearm he has tattooed an anchor. He demonstrates how they look in various poses, from flexes to his standard arms folded across his chest. Not bad, huh? Someone told me that only real sailors get tats like these. I figured it's appropriate either way, seeing as how my meat hooks hit like a pair of anchors. Sailors also eat lots of spinach. Popeye reference. You getting cute with me, Sang-Jean? Because you know, I've been letting you share about with your arms on account of respect for what you do. Don't go making me rethink that. Because someday soon, this guy here is gonna be a part of a crew you wouldn't want to tangle with. We'll make you walk that plank or something. Have you talked with your father about all this? No, I want it to be a surprise. Don't want him feeling like he forced me into the family business. By which I mean piracy, not this fluff that we've got going on here. Doesn't take a genius to see that my pa has no love for the club. I'm a little afraid he might be jealous when I tell him I'll be shipping out. I know he misses it. The adventure, the thrills. I could picture it all. Unfurling the black sails, running up the skull and crossbones, chasing down a fleeing ship, and then swinging across to plunder her hold. It's an Assassin's Creed Black Flag! Although I do understand where he's coming from with this. Yeah, I know it's not like that. These days it's speedboats with machine guns, climbing up rope ladders in heavy seas, and shipjacking, but hey, that's what I'm cut out for. I got a heart for the sea, but I'm not afraid of the hardship and hard work and fights. I don't work out just to look good and bounce drunk smugglers. You're serious about joining a pirate crew? Hell yes! And not just any pirates. The most exclusive group out there on the water, the Hell Thunder crew. I heard about them last week. They only take orcs and trolls like me. Bastards too. Men to be feared. It's a perfect operation for me to join, and I'm sure they'll take me, especially when they hear who my father was. I wouldn't be surprised if they were inspired by him in the first place. How many troll pirates back in my boss day? In fact, I bet they make me first mate or something just for being his blood. I'll leave you be. We gotta talk to his dad. Henry, the patriarch of the Ka Fai clan seems more morose than usual. The effect is particularly pronounced because of his massive size and worn granite exterior. It looks like a mountain that has just collapsed under its own weight. You return to us again, Sang-Jean. Everything alright, Henry? Nothing. I just haven't been sleeping very well. Bad dreams? As a matter of fact, yes. To call them bad dreams would be putting it mildly. I don't remember much, and I'm thankful for that, but what I do remember, there's a woman's voice, possibly Ermine's, telling me that I'm not wanted or needed. She urged me to leave by whatever means necessary. I think she wanted me to kill myself. Oh god. My boys were there too, only they were young again. They didn't talk, they just snapped at me, tried to bite me. And their teeth. They had far too many teeth, rows upon rows of them like shark teeth. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my whole life. Is everything alright with Callum and Freddy? I don't know. Every time I try to be a father to them, I feel more and more like I'm anything but. I suppose that's because they're not my little boys anymore. They're grown men now. Wish it weren't the case. They were so much more easier to handle and maybe easier to love back when they were just boys. When their dreams were just silly nonsense, but all that more endearing because of it. Now as men, their ambitions frighten me. I worry but haven't the first clue on what to do about it. I talk to them, but I don't think Callum respects me anymore. Freddy is in his own little world. Do you believe he's convinced I was a pirate? Henry lets out a sad laugh and just shakes his head. Did you ever have any run-ins with pirates? Back in my day, there weren't there many true pirates in the waters around here. The bigger ships were too well defended and the smaller ones were mostly not worth the effort. But as time went on, more and more money poured into Hong Kong. That money attracted more sophisticated criminals, rigged vessels, some of them formerly military, firepower, electronic warfare, trained men. I was mostly lucky. Wuxing was careful with its ships. They gave a lot of ships escorts in and out of port, in the stretches where pirates were most likely to strike. Anytime we had big assets in tow, they'd send an escort or an air squadron to cover us. We had some light guns on the tugboat, and that was enough. Pirates saw us for what we were, a trouble magnet with nothing worth stealing. There was only one incident, but we don't talk about that. There are things I don't want my wife or boys to know about this world, or me. Henry D. Henry, you gotta talk to Freddy. You need to. Callum? Even though he has a drink in his hand, the red in Callum's eyes is not that of a drunken stupor, but a barely suppressed rage. An angry troll is a dangerous thing. And an angry drunk troll is a disaster waiting to happen. What do you want? You don't look so good. You should see the other guy. Not a scratch on her, of course. Might be easier if she just hit me, but she fights with words, confusing them with guilt and fear and deceit. She gets in your head. No wonder I'm having such twisted dreams. Dream? Messed up dreams. Same one, actually. Over and over. I'm lying on a long dining table, like you'd find in a rich man's home. Real wood, polished, and set with all the finery. But there I am, right in the middle of it all, like the main course. I hear whispers all around me, women's voices, and one of them approaches and I see that it's my mother. She doesn't even look me in the eye. She just sees me like an object, some kind of thing, and then she cuts into me. I don't feel any pain. I suppose I'm dead. But I scream anyway. I scream because of the look on her face when she starts to eat the hunk of meat she carved off. Her teeth. Her teeth are terrifying. Then another woman approaches, and it's my mother again. They all are. And they all start devouring me bit by bit until there's nothing left. Teeth. Kwanya. I wonder if these dreams all correlate to her. Is that who we're seeing? Problems with your mother? Asking that is like asking for my life story. But the short version is that my parents have been actively working against me since I was old enough to think for myself. But this time, it goes beyond discouragement. It's a new low. No other word for it but sabotage. Whoever my would-be patron is, he works for Baihu. Same corp my mother used to work for. Not sure why she quit, but it must have been an ugly break for her to be acting this way. The thing she'd be so spiteful as that she denied her own son a future because of it. Anyway, always thought that she just wanted me home, working as a wage slave in her own house. Turns out, bitch can't stand the thought of me succeeding where she failed. I'll leave you be. Something's going on with this family. Ren, we'll go ahead and talk with him later, but right now we gotta go ahead and talk to Ermine. Ermine Ka Fai cleans and oils the disassembled parts of a half-dozen assault rifles spread across a nearby workbench. Her focus borders on obsession, like a person rubbing her hands raw from excessive washing. I knew it. I just knew it. Everything all right, Ermine? She looks startled by the interruption, as if her words were not meant for other ears. Oh, nothing. It's nothing. Doesn't seem like nothing. She pauses in her work, staring at her hands a moment before finally turning her eyes upward. It's about Callum and the man he's been in contact with. I know who he is now, and it's not right. Who is he? Someone I once worked with at Baihu. A superior. He was a powerful man then, and that was over 20 years ago. He has grown even more powerful since, I have no doubt. If he isn't running the Hong Kong branch by now, it wouldn't be long before he is. If that's what he wants. And this is a man who gets what he wants. If he wants Callum, I think I'm going to lose my son. She returns to her work, clearly trying to lose herself in it. Is Callum okay? For the moment, yes, but I don't know how long I can possibly keep him safe. I can't tell him why, but I have to make him understand that he cannot see this person ever. But the closer I try to hold on to him, the quicker my voice seems to slip away. I fear that I am driving him straight into the arms of this man. Whatever happens after, it would be my fault. All my fault. She returns to her work, clearly trying to lose herself in it. Would it be rude to ask him to see some gear? This is getting worse. Can we afford anything? No. Time to upgrade. I really hope we can save these guys. Brent Shirkley. Something I can help you with, friend? The elephant has a hard-set look in his face and a cold stare of someone accustomed to casual violence. The most striking thing about him, however, are the glowing golden tattoos that wrap around from his forehead around toward the back of his head, just over one ear. Nice ink. It's not ink. Not really. It's a spell. The elf's tone is flat and disinterested, but he fixes you with an intense stare. Magical tattoo, the kind of thing you tend to pick up on the business. What kind of business is that anyway? Fixing you with a dubious look, the elf cocks his head. What the hell do you think, man? Look at you. We're obviously working the same angle here in Heoi. The name's Brent Shirkley. He doesn't extend a hand, but nods at you in greeting. I'm a mage, one of the best in this hemisphere, in fact. Nice to meet you, Sing John. Good to know you. If you need anyone to pick up the magical slack on your team, you can find me here. What's your specialty as a mage? What kind of bullshit question is that? Are you interviewing me for a job running tuxedos or something? Brent snorts and hunches over the table on one elbow. Magic is about power. You dress it up however you like, but that's at the core of what this is. I've met a lot of magicians that talk about being spiritually in tune with the universe or reaching a higher state of enlightenment. It's all crap. You focus your will to enact a change on the universe. The stronger your will, the bigger the change. Calling it anything else is just window dressing. That's why I bring in the big guns. Fire, lightning, raw force. My will is stronger than steel or Kevlar or stone. A good mage knows exactly how far they can push themselves, and they can ride that limit. It's not the blessing of a totem or an idol, but their own skill at knowing their limits, just like an athlete. That's a remarkably open way of putting it. Why should I dress it up? Just because some people grasp at gods? Sure, they get to stand their powers from somewhere, but totems always seem to match the shaman's pre-existing outlook and prejudices. Some people can't accept the power comes from within themselves, so they have to pretend it's been given to them. Brent lifts a hand gesturing in the air as he speaks. It's like this. We know we can grasp the power output of magical energy. We can benchmark the intensity of spirits and astral energies. The entire basis of modern thaumaturgy is treating magic like any other science. We don't know how everything works, but the same is true for quantum physics. Why should we assume higher powers are at work when the scientific method can be applied to thaumaturgy? I certainly understand the desire to look for answers in the heavens, but they're just as ephemeral as ever. So why don't you use a street name? Brent shrugs, one corner of his mouth curling up in a wry smile. When I started running, I was too young to know better. By the time it mattered, I was too good for anyone to do anything about it. Since I'm sinless, it's not like any of the megas can attach meaningful information to the name. It's just as meaningless as any street name in terms of tracking me. Besides, street names have always struck me as a little ridiculous. You're gonna call yourself something that sounds like a teenage Matrix handle and that shows you're serious? Please. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror if I called myself something like Blackheart, Silverhand, or Adariel. It's just ridiculous. Brent Shirkley is a name that's mine. I've owned it my whole life. Why change it now? Well, what's with the magical tattoo? Oh, this? Brent lifts 2 fingers, running them across his forehead toward the tip of his ear. Got this done in Yokohama a few years back. An old crewmate's brother is a tattoo artist out there, specializing in cooking spells. You put this kind of ink in, it's like getting a spell cast on you for good. A world will knock it down just like normal, but you never have to recast the spell. It just slowly regenerates. Nice alternative to cyberware. So what spell does it hold? Kind of prosaic, but I'm really allergic to pollution. Intensely. Developed it during a stint in Kolkata a few years back. Something about all the crap they pump into the air just wrecked my lungs. I couldn't keep up on my job, so this spell alleviates the allergies. Not especially as my reading or something, but still useful. I'll talk to you later, Brent. That actually sounds pretty interesting. The ability of tattooing a spell onto your body, that way you can just basically have it active at all times. Not gonna lie, that sounds dope. So, what did I do this week? Well, yesterday I basically had to look after my nephews. I wasn't on my desktop all day just to make sure. So, other than that, it was just like a normal day. The area behind Shen's table is even more cluttered than usual. Many of the glass cages have been pulled out of their neatly arranged stacks, lying about the floor of the boat like a miniature reptilian landmines. Shen is busy checking each cage, marking the context on a comlink. Be with you in a second, just seeing if an order is complete. Ball python, check. Asian keelback, check. Mexican vine snake, check. The Indian egg-eating snake's there too. Good, looks like everything's here. Shen nods in satisfaction, placing the comlink down on the table in front of you. Right then, what can I do for you? Show me what you got. Yes! Wait. Mystic armor. Let's grab Mystic armor. Okay, let's show me what you got. Sell. And let's see. Let's grab this. Now we got some new duds. So, I thought you didn't sell your animals. I don't, especially not the venomous ones. But this is different. I'm brokering a deal between a reptile wholesaler and a friend of mine who needs a lot of snakes for his next trid production. Shen plants a foot atop one cage, smiling broadly. You ever heard of a man by the name of Dr. Shen Yang? Sure, I even did some work for him. Shen blinks, obviously surprised by this news. Well, how about that? I knew that little dwarf got around, but I didn't think he'd hire freelancers to handle something I could. You must be familiar with what a weird little bastard he is then. So, these snakes are for his next Trid movie. I think he's calling it Martian Snake Witches of the Fourth Reich. It's some terrible science fiction movie about time-traveling wizards from the future. Shrugging, Shen throws both hands into the air. God knows where he gets the funding for these ideas. They sure don't sell for crap. This one time, he wanted to make a Trid show starring me, White Ming, and the rest of our crew. It was going to be about daily life in a triad, but he wanted to make it a sitcom. I don't really know what's so comedic about extortion, racketeering, and assault, but that's a strange little brain for you. Keep safe, Shen. I'm surprised we get a little bit more dialogue about Dr. Shen Yang. I am a bit surprised, but at the same time. It's Shen Yang. Okay, Lost Techno Palace. As much as I would love to speak with him about this, we need to go ahead and take with... I don't know if we can basically talk with him about anything. Ambrose, I think, is where it's at. Ambrose looks rougher and more tired than usual. These dreams are getting out of hand, Sangshan. You got them too, right? I normally wake up more tired than when I fell asleep, but this is nuts. So, let's talk about Reliable Matthew. Ambrose sighs. His expression suggests that he's had this conversation before. What about Maddie? What's his deal? He's a shy, sensitive guy who's had a rough life. Now he's got a shit job selling people the thing they love to hate. Ambrose shakes his head in exasperation. That poor guy. He wouldn't harm a fly, but if there's someone who should have failure to adapt tattooed onto their forehead, it's Maddie. So why are you giving him BTLs? Why am I giving him BTLs? Ambrose bristles. So he doesn't have to get cheap shit that's gonna fry his brain from a street dealer, that's why. Those cool blues are pharmaceutical grade. Their tracks run clean and clear as live opera. Ambrose catches himself. Patient confidentiality. I've already said too much. He's medicated. God knows he deserves it. Fair enough. Sounds like he has a medical need. That he does. Sounds like he's in a bad situation with his suppliers. Matty is always in a bad situation with his suppliers. He's a terrible businessman, and used drone selling, that's a brutal business. You always have a lot more metal on the lot than you can afford, and the commissions are a pittance. Matty doesn't want help to do something else, though. He wants to hole up with his little drone buddies and be left alone. Ambrose thrusts his chin out defiantly. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I commend you thinking about him, Sang-Shan. I really do. A lot of cases like Matty come through my door, and I feel for them. If I didn't have this gig, I might be right there with him. There, but by the grace of Chrome and Booty it go I. Ambrose makes a mock toast with his arm. To reliable Matthew. Hold true, little buddy. There's a rest for you at the end of the tunnel. To reliable Matthew. May he hang in there. Alright, let's talk about something else. This is just depressing. So, after you got smashed up, how did you become a street doc? Ambrose's face becomes grim. You want to keep going with this, Sang-Shan? Alright. After that ambush, things were desperate for a long time. We had to borrow a lot of money. Karen had blown ears and a brain injury. I was a chunk of raw meat. Dang it! Sorry. Then, we turned the tide. How'd you turn the tide? Land the plane? Hold on, where's Karen now? That's a raw nerve, Sang-Shan. Ambrose's brows dart low. He glances with intense anger toward the operating table for a moment. Karen betrayed me. I don't want to talk about it. Well, how did you pay all that money back? I'm getting to that. Short answer is, I'm still paying it back, but I'm gaining ground. Tell you what though, it's not the money that's hard, it's the favors. I owe kindly so many favors I'll probably never pay them all off. This clinic lets me do a lot of things I like, but I also have to do some things I don't like at all. Don't ask about that, I can't tell you. Before you continue, why didn't they euthanize you? Because of Karen. She raised holy hell about it. She was trans-Catholic, and they're dead set against suicide. To them, it's the worst sin. See, they think we're all incarnate to do our life's karmic work. No matter how shitty that work is, all other beings in the universe rely upon us to finish it, so we must see ourselves through. Personally, I don't buy it. I just can't believe the universe is that cruel. Ambrose shakes his head in exasperation. Karen was a walking contradiction. She had high aspirations, but she was terrible at all that thou shalt not kill or steal or throw people off subway platform stuff. Ambrose rolls his eyes and gives a strained grin. She was like, Ambrose, if you smoke yourself, I will hunt you down in your next life and gut you. I felt I owed it to her to live. That was the first time I ever felt like I owed anything to anyone. His face clouds with anger and hurt. And then, what she did to me, unfucking believable. I satisfied my curiosity. You can continue now. Karen still had her big haul bag from the job. It was mostly full of incomplete research data, useless. However, it also had this crazy score, a draft medico-surgical skillwire program. No soft skillwire program. Well, at first we thought it was a crazy score, and we realized it was just a paperweight. It wasn't some doc in a box, it was a Sigma grade, really high end. It was supposed to run through an expert robotic system, not a person. It was also unsellable, very rare, very traceable. But then, he breaks into a secretive, proud smile. I figured out how to run it through my cyber. How'd you do that? It's hard to explain if you're not a tech head. You wouldn't understand. He breaks into an involuntary chuckle. Okay, twist my arm, I'll tell you. Ambrose smiles so delightfully that even his cyber eye seems to twinkle. His voice is conspiratorial. He talks fast. I use 3 external servers to hold it over at my workstation. I run hard lines from the servers through 2 jacks, one to my Cortex, one to my tactical computer. My other 2 jacks I specifically installed. One plugs into my encephalon, which has been repurposed. The 4th jack connects to my headwear to my external memory in my wheelchair. My encephalon handles algorithmic load, while my tactical computer acts as an enteric processor and triates between my no-soft skillware, brain, and the control rig. The whole mashup takes 5 custom programs, all while Poem built. From there, smooth sailing. Ambrose smells beautifully. I'm not just Ambrose. I'm the chair, the service, the machinery. I am Chrome Alley. And that's why my remaining essence is just a precious sliver. Oh, dang. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So I figured out how to run the program. I said, Karen, this is our golden ticket. We're going to make a killing. We borrowed more money and got Conley and the Ka Fai tribe to sponsor us. Set up Chrome Alley. The rest is history. He looks proudly around the mechanical clinic chum machine shop. Maybe it's not a killing, but it turned out to be a pretty good life. Do you worry about the program's owners coming after you? Hey, I worry about a lot of people coming after me. Nobody ever really gets out of the shadows, but my trail is cold. I've had this thing for 5 years now. Ripshy is dead. 10-armed Ambrose lives here now. Goodbye, Ambrose. Time for me to go. Cheers, Shang-Chan. Talk to you later. So, yeah. Looks like we got a bit more. So now we know exactly what Ambrose actually is. Let's see about law. Much as I want to give him some metadata, I don't want to risk it. Not until we get it all in one shot without having to get him injured. Yo, Shang-Chan! Hey, viewer. Law's voice is gregarious, yet tinged with awe. He smiles widely. How can I style out the carnivore? What'd you need? Oh, just checking to give him metadata. Let's see. Honestly, if we were a Decker, we could You gotta go? Okay, watch your back and shoot straight and all. Law grins at you and dexterously flashes the hand sign that Shadowrunners give to each other in Holovid shows. I got things to do too. Alright. Okay, we've talked to... Oh, right, we gotta go talk to the old guys. See what's up. I hope they're okay. Where is... Ah, they're there. Can't go there. So yeah, I had to look after my nephews yesterday. I actually got the PlayStation app on my phone and also PlayStation Stars. Now once I get achievements, I can actually start getting credit and maybe some credit that I could use to get some more games and stuff. Hopefully that works. Jin frowns. Look who's back. Why don't you go egg a car or something and leave us alone? I for one enjoy seeing John's visits. A hint of a smile touches Lao's lips as Jin grumbles to himself. How can we help you? Sorry to interrupt. I'm just wondering if you're all still having the dreams? This again? Don't you have anything better to do? Yes, we're all still having the dreams. Lao's voice is calm but troubled. However, they've gone a hell of a lot worse. Jin shifts uncomfortably. Look, let's not go into detail. Anything would be great. He mulls over. Alright, but afterwards you have to let us finish our game. Sure. He nods approvingly, then glances at Lao and Xiaoyu before continuing. Our dreams have become, more unpleasant, so to say. Darker, violent. He runs his hand along his tightly crowded beard. Not all that healthy, if you ask me, especially for men of our age. We've come out of them in a day, sometimes feels like we've been punched in the senses. And the imagery? You can see him shiver as he thinks about it. Well, I said no details, so no details. That about sums it up. Xiaoyu? Master Lao? I have nothing more to add. Xiaoyu? Xiaoyu's eyes bore into you. No, nothing. You seem upset. Is there something wrong? Xiaoyu continues to stare at you, his face pale. He opens his mouth, closes it. He seems to be struggling to find words. What's wrong with you, Xiaoyu? You better not be having a stroke. We're in the middle of a game. If Shadowrun heard Jin, he doesn't show it. He looks at you and his eyes widen. You need to go faster. His voice is urgent, pleading. The shadows that follow you are getting closer. Excuses Shang-Shan, our friend is tired. Lao clasps his hand on Shayu's shoulder, who doesn't seem to notice. These dreams have taken a lot out on all of us. Please come back some other time. Understood. Take care. Okay, so I'm guessing that's just a repeat then. Oh, a second viewer. Nice. Although we basically just got what we need right now. We could give the metadata to Law, but I don't think that's a smart idea. As you pass in front of the walled city, something takes hold of your chest and squeezes. An internal pang, like a panic attack, but worse. You feel your chest compress, and for a second the world turns to liquid. It takes all the effort you can muster to keep from falling over. A strobing patchwork of images flashes before your eyes. Fragments of dream and sense memory all stitched together, playing on a loop in your head. Walled city residents kneeling, the churning sound of grinding gears, leading buildings, soiled streets, used needles on a sidewalk. The images come faster and faster. Teeth, thousands and thousands of teeth, the Redman Barons, and the first man you ever saw killed. A crown of ivory over a simmering veil. Duncan at age 10, his legs pumping, running for his life from a pack of Halloweeners. Strange anatomy that doesn't make sense to your logical mind. A door. A heavy industrial door. Something is written on it in faded yellow paint, but you can't make it out. And just like that, the slideshow ends. The images fade to nothing, returning you to the Heoi streets. The outermost facade of the walled city towers over you, huge and impressive. A group of Kylie Chang's blue lanterns pass you by, oblivious to the event that just took place in your head. Try to walk it off. You take a step forward, then another. You still feel woozy, but you don't need to take a knee. The event, whatever it was, is over. Your mind is your own. Okay, that is freaky. But it sounds like there's something in the walled city. A building? Okay. Now, let's go on it. Now, what to do? I think... Yeah. Next episode... I think I have an idea. I'm going to call it here for today, but next episode I have a pretty good idea what we can do. I'm Dragon Mark, and next time on Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong, we're going to do the, what was it? We're going to set up a conflict between Knight Errant and the Red Dragon Syndicate. Plus, we gotta bring Ractor for this one. I'm thinking Isabel, Ractor, and... Duncan? Gobbit? Sorry if you heard that, that's the app. Anyway, if you like what you all saw, leave a like, comment down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay notified, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope that the stream processes today, but I think it will. Laters!